this is how the day started. We have a weekly time frame fair value gap right there that price can come down to. Essentially, this is last week's low. Yeah, this is previous week low, which if price takes liquidity off, it can come down to the, this level. Daily time frame. But we also have this daily time frame fair value gap, which price previously held at the 50% mark. And it's also resting right below that weekly time frame fair value gap. So ideally, if I'm going to take a long position, it would have to be in this zone unless price starts to displace bullish before that. But if I'm going to take a trade on a lower time frame, it has to come down to that level at least. So Monday closed as an inside bar. Going into the day, we've got bearish order flow. Daily time frame, we've got bearish order flow from this peak after price took out these highs. We've got bearish displacement. Since then, price has been bearish, just failing to close above. There's an order block there, maintained. Order block there, maintained. New order block formed, and then an inside bar on the lower time frame is clearer. We have this fair value gap that was maintained. Price failed to reach out to. Then we took out liquidity of this high on Friday, pushed down, and then we start to hold this fair value gap right here. Right. So what can happen now? Let's see. Going into Monday, going into Tuesday. Okay, we have these highs on the 15 minutes clearer. We have fair value gap above those highs, so then that needs to be held. These highs, I would look to go short at these highs. So instead of coming to this high, price comes to this high, takes out the whatever liquidity is resting above, and then starts to displace bearish with bearish order flow, as you can see, created by these fair value gaps. This fair value gap right there as well. And then this candle just cements that order flow. Now what I'm expecting price to go, this is at least down to hit Monday low, which would be the next drawn liquidity. If I'm going to take long, it would have to be down there, because that area is not strong enough. 15 minute, we start to displace lower, right? There you go, another fair value gap held, another displacement after this order block, which is great. 5 minute time frame. Ooh, there we go. That's another order block followed by another candle, and then there we have it. That comes after taking out these lows, and price also closes below this fair value gap. There's these, yep, that's a good level to go short at this 15 minute fair value gap. Price in tanks, oh, more imbalances left. Now this is a good. There we have it. Came back up, took out liquidity off this high, just below this imbalance, held, and then dropped further. We could take a trade here. This would be a good trade, especially now that the drawn liquidity is down to this level. My bad, previous day low is right here. So technically, yes, the drawn liquidity I would take at that level rather than other levels. Especially after we get this close, more imbalance. Followed by an order block, then another close below. And I took a trade right here. Stops above this fair value gap, and then target was at this. I think I took it at this next level, previous week low. Because of the fact that we come down with such a strong order flow on the higher time frames. You see, essentially, what happens is, as price reaches close to its drawn liquidity, starts to displace more and more, leaving clues that is holding these imbalances, especially after this liquidity grab above this high, and then below this imbalance, rejection, more fair value gaps, held again, displacement, fair value gap, held, order block, displacement, and then entry on the pullback at the order block, with fair value gap as well, by the way. So entry was there, and then I took a short right up to there. I wouldn't want to go lower than that, because you have the weekly time fair value gap, you have the daily time previous week low, and also you have these lows all resting around that area, so I was not expecting price to go further down. Although it goes all the way down to the daily time from fair value gap. So as the days goes on, so yeah, this is a trade I took earlier. I was expecting price to go down to previous week low. I would not expect price to go all the way, down to here, but it makes sense because of the order flow we've had on the 60-minute time frame since we rejected these highs. We've been maintaining the bearish order flow. We can see on here on the 15-minute, we maintained further order flow around, I think, around this area, and then we've been dropping since then with strong bearish imbalance. And so yeah, I'm looking for a bullish opportunity around this area, as long as we get a good entry on the 5-minute time frame. This is at 11:55. We make a new low, then we get this inside bar candle. Good. Price also closes above this bearish fair value gap, which turns into a bullish inverse entry, which is good. Then price pulls back, another bullish fair value gap held. It's a very good sign. And the next candle holds a bullish fair value gap as well, and then price starts to push higher. Further displacement with a bullish fair value gap. Entry was placed right here for me, with targets up to these highs, or even these highs are good. However, next candle rejects this weekly time frame fair value gap. So you know what this is. This is a bullish. So you know what this is. This is where the bullish fair value gap ends. This is the bottom of that. Essentially, price closed below it and then pushed back up and rejected it at entry. So we also got market structure shift right here. And yeah, so this is something I've seen previously in my other trade where price came down below weekly time frame fair value gap and then pushed up and rejected it, and then after that it continued lower first before going up again. Especially at this time, 12:20. This is peak manipulation time, so it pushes down, creates a new bearish imbalance which holds, which continues to hold, and then makes a new low, another inside bar, new low, so we see this is diverging with EU, which is a good sign. Then price provides a market structure shift. Now this is a better trade, and also closes above this daily time for fair value gap and above all of these imbalances, and also puts in a fair value gap right here, and this would be a good trade to take, especially on a pullback. On the 15-minute, what does it look like? Looks like this with a imbalance, and entry below that imbalance would be a good shout, which gets triggered, and also you have much more room to go low higher now. Price holds, starts to go bullish, closes above this high, more displacement without any fair value gap, so not convincing yet. Then it just goes and hits target with a fair value gap as well. On the 1 hour time frame, we've got this bearish fair value gap to look out for, since we are in a bearish momentum or bearish order flow. Then price, yep, this would have been a good trade too. And then price comes into this 50% off this 60 fair value gap right above this liquidity level, and then starts to displace. Nice displacement, failed retest, followed by this bearish displacement, which is where you'd want to start looking for shorts. Then pull back, yep, I think that's a good entry. Would not take it all the way down to the low, mainly because we just rejected we just filled the fair value gaps on daily time frame and weekly time frame, so I wouldn't really know where to take this really. Targets and is not clear. Although you can take it down to this low. These lows right here. Price displaces furthermore after holding this bearish imbalance. Price doesn't take these lows out, so you could. This is another entry on the pullback. Again, this happened at 5:20, and then we come back up again. Let's get rid of this. We make failed retest, displacement with fair value gap, and then pull back into that, which is at the weekly time of fair value gap, and then displace again before pushing up, and then price just starts to range sideways. This is the close. Let's go up to 15-minute. Let's see what price has done. So yeah, we took out these lows, essentially held this fair value gap, and then since then we've been making our way up, back up to these highs. Cool.